Have you ever felt it? A quiet, hollow ache in the center of your being? A feeling that persists even when, by all external measures, you have everything you're supposed to want? You have the job, the technology, the access to endless entertainment, the ability to buy almost anything with a click. You are living in the most materially abundant era in human history. So why is there a voice that sometimes whispers in the quiet moments, "Is this all there is?" Welcome to Existential Psychology Insights. If you are someone who grapples with these deeper questions, who seeks not just answers, but better ways of questioning, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and join our exploration of the human condition. Today, we confront what may be the defining paradox of our age, the existential emptiness that flourishes in the heart of consumer society. We will investigate why the relentless pursuit of having more so often leads to the profound experience of being less. This is not a critique of comfort or a call to asceticism. It is a deep psychological and philosophical diagnosis of a spiritual sickness that haunts our modern world, and an exploration of the cure. Our contemporary culture is built upon a foundational yet deeply flawed promise that fulfillment can be purchased. From the moment we are old enough to watch a screen, we are inundated with a masterfully crafted narrative. This narrative tells us that our identity is defined by what we own. Our worth is measured by the brands we wear, the car we drive, the size of our home, the novelty of our gadgets. Happiness, we are told, is just one more acquisition away. The anxiety you feel, the loneliness, the sense of meaninglessness, all of it can be soothed, a voice from the billboard whispers, if you just buy this product. We internalize this message. We become participants in what the social philosopher Erich Fromm called the having mode of existence. In the having mode, our relationship to the world is one of possession and control. I have a car. I have a degree. I have a certain number of followers. The self becomes a sum of its external attachments. The problem, as Fromm brilliantly diagnosed, is that this mode is inherently anxiety-provoking. What I have, I can also lose. My possessions can be stolen, my status can crumble, my youth can fade. And so the person living in the having mode is in a constant state of low-grade fear, clinging to what they have and anxiously seeking more to fortify their fragile sense of self. This is amplified by a well-documented psychological phenomenon known as the hedonic treadmill. Our brains are wired for adaptation. The intense pleasure you get from a new purchase, a new phone, a new car, is fleeting. Very quickly, that new thing becomes the new baseline. The thrill fades. To get the same rush of pleasure, you now need something better, newer, more expensive. You are running on a treadmill, expending immense energy just to stay in the same place emotionally, always chasing a horizon of satisfaction that you can never actually reach. This cycle is a perfect recipe for perpetual dissatisfaction and ultimately a sense of deep, gnawing emptiness. From an existential perspective, consumerism functions as a grand, society-wide distraction. It is a brilliantly effective yet soul-crushing way to avoid confronting the fundamental realities of our existence. It keeps us too busy, too stimulated, too focused on the next shiny object to have to sit with the difficult questions. Questions like, what is my purpose? What are my true values? How should I live knowing that my time is finite? Am I living an authentic life? The noise of consumerism drowns out the quiet, often uncomfortable voice of our inner self. It offers us a prepackaged identity, a set of goals defined by the marketplace, so we don't have to undertake the difficult, anxiety-inducing work of creating our own. We trade the terrifying freedom of self-creation for the comforting, easy bondage of being a consumer. But the self knows when it has been betrayed, and the feeling of that betrayal is the existential void. So if the having mode is a trap, what is the alternative? Fromm called it the being mode of existence. In the being mode, our sense of self is not derived from what we possess, but what we are and what we do. It is a life defined by active and authentic engagement with the world. Meaning is not found in passive consumption, but in active creation, in genuine connection, in learning, in growing, and in contributing. This is the philosophical cure. It begins with a conscious rebellion against the consumerist narrative. It requires us to critically examine the desires that our culture instills in us and ask, is this a desire that comes from my authentic self, or is it a desire that has been manufactured and sold to me? The path to filling the existential void involves a deliberate shift towards cultivating what the psychiatrist Viktor Frankl called meaningful values. He identified three primary sources of meaning. First, there are creative values, finding purpose in what we give to the world, be it through our work, our art, our craft, or our ideas. This is the act of contributing, of adding something to the world that is an expression of our unique self. Second, there are experiential values, finding meaning in what we take from the world in the form of profound experiences. This is not about consuming luxury vacations, but about the deep appreciation of beauty in nature or art, the richness of genuine human connection, the profound experience of love. These are experiences that enrich our being, not just our collection of possessions. Third, and perhaps most powerfully, there are attitudinal values, finding meaning in the attitude we choose to take towards unavoidable suffering or circumstances beyond our control. This is the ultimate existential freedom, the ability to choose our response, to find dignity and purpose even in the face of hardship. To break free from the existential trap, we must begin to intentionally invest our time and energy in these areas. It means prioritizing experiences over things. It means investing in our relationships, offering our presence and vulnerability instead of just exchanging pleasantries. It means finding a project, a cause, or a craft that allows us to express our creative potential. It means learning to find beauty in simplicity and sufficiency, rather than in endless accumulation. This is not a call to reject material comfort entirely. It is a call to put things back in their proper place. They are tools to facilitate a good life, not the substance of a good life itself. The cure for the existential emptiness that plagues our affluent society is not to acquire more, but to be more. It is to turn away from the dazzling, sterile showroom of consumerism and to nurture that small, cracked, and authentic part of ourselves where real life, real meaning, and real fulfillment can finally begin to grow.